Here we are at chapter 1, target 2H. We're asked to perform the following operations and then simplify. With these 2 and the 4, what we're going to go ahead and do is actually just kind of leave them alone for right now. So we'll still have 2 divided by 4. And then with the square roots, again, we can tear square roots apart or we can combine them under one square root. And so for this one, just so it's kind of consistent with some of the previous problems, especially ones we've seen from class, we'll go ahead and throw him under one square root. So then we have 8 on top divided by our 72 on the bottom. So again, just in that blue step, all we've done is combine this square root together into one square root. Next, what we want to do is we'll go ahead and leave this 2 and 4 on the outside still. And then inside of our square root, we have our 8 and our 72 on the bottom. We can actually simplify this one down. What's inside the square root, we can have, instead of 8 divided by 72, we can divide the top by 8 as well as the bottom by 8. So again, we have to divide the top and bottom both by 8. Whatever we do to the numerator, we also have to do to that denominator. Again, leaving our 2 and 4 out in front. When we divide this top 8 divided by 8, we end up with just 1 on top. And then when we divide 72 divided by 8, we end up with 9 on the bottom. Again, still just leaving that 2 divided by 4, focusing our attention on the square roots. Just like we can bring together square roots like we saw with the blue line, we can also go ahead and tear those apart. And so what that would look like is we would have our square root of 1 on top over our square root of 9 on the bottom. So again, we just basically broke up that square root. Still our 2 divided by 4. And then looking at these square roots, the square root of 1 just comes out to be 1. And then this square root of 9 just gives us 3 on the bottom. And really what we're doing here, and especially all along the way, is we are multiplying those tops together and the bottoms together. So if you ever see a number right outside of a square root, they're actually being multiplied by that square root. So this kind of applies for all of these previous ones. It's right next to them, it's just being multiplied. So right here from the original, really this is 2 times the square root of 8 and 4 times the square root of 72. Now how that translates to the final part in the problem is we have 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 3 is 12 on the bottom. And then we can simplify this down by dividing the top and bottom both by 2, giving us then 1/6. So again, we just divided the top and bottom both by 2 to simplify it down. Again, though, that is chapter 1, target 2H.